Well, hello there. My name's Tim. I'm representing Santa Pod. We've been invited today to the fantastic Brooklands Museum, and we're delighted to bring a few cars to demonstrate and show what drag racing is all about. Now, to the uninitiated, drag racing is a race over a quarter mile. The classes that can be, the cars that race, can be anything from a production car, which is off the road, all the way through to what the top Formula 1 cars in drag racing is, the top fuel dragsters that race over the 1,000 feet nowadays, and they reach speeds in excess of 330 miles an hour in the 1,000 feet, covering that 1,000 foot in under 4 seconds, 3.7 seconds for that 1,000 foot run. Santa Pod itself, Santa Pod is the drag race strip. It's the European drag racing strip in Northamptonshire. It was opened, actually, it's a World War II airfield. Its first race was in 1966. And over the last, it's actually going to be celebrating its 60th anniversary coming up. And it has developed massively over the years from a World War II airfield to actually a drag strip now that was relaid about 4 years ago, complete concrete over the quarter mile. So the cars today here are just a small selection. We've got a very small car down at the end here, a junior dragster. So we have children from the age of 5 upwards now can actually start racing and drag racing, and they race over the 8th mile rather than the quarter mile. And the idea of junior dragsters is to actually get youngsters involved into the sport, and hopefully they will then develop and enjoy the sport, to then develop into going through the classes into different cars as they reach the age that they can actually race a full-blown drag racing machine. My role today actually is just to represent Santa Pod, but what I'm going to do is to give you a little bit more idea of the cars. I'm going to pass you over to a couple of gentlemen that give you a bit more technical detail of their own race cars, and that'll give you an idea of actually the wild racing world of what drag racing is all about.
Right, my name's Mick Sharp. I'm the owner of this 71 Dodge Dart, which we race in Nostalgia Superstock, which is a class for the older style vehicles. We're quite successful with it. The cars will run down into the 9-second bracket, but as you can see, it is set up for the drag racing. The car is road legal, just about, but it is quite lively on the road, as you can imagine. It does have nitrous fitted, but that's not for the road or the particular class we have. We've done a lot of modifications on the car to keep it going, really.
Yeah.
You know.
How long have you had it?
I've had it for about 5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and you've built it up to this? Or was it already...
the car was already built. We've done lots of improvements over the years, to make the car reliable and the speed that it will reach.
And what speed does it reach?
On the quarter mile, it'll reach about 136 mile an hour.
Good gracious me.
Yeah, so in just about 9.5 seconds. So, and she did like pulling wheelies.
Really?
Yeah. But we have toned it down a little bit for that.
Okay, and how do you do that? Is it to do with the gearing?
What, pull wheelies?
No, to turn it down.
To turn it down, yeah, there's lots of differences. There's the tune-up, there's the chassis settings.
Okay.
And obviously how you apply the power as well.
Right.
So lots of different little tricks of the trade, we should say.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about the engine, Mick.
Okay, it's a 512 cubic inch big block Mopar, running on petrol, just normal pump gas. Got aluminium heads. It has a high lift camshaft, quite a trick tuned carburetor. It has simple things like electric water pumps and things like that just makes the whole thing work.
Yeah.
It sort of gels together.
Yeah.
You know. So
what's its output, do you think?
Horsepower-wise, probably around about 700 horsepower.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you've got the nitrous as well on top.
Yeah.
And then that's tunable on jets, so that can be anything from 75 up to sort of 300 horsepower.
Oh, really? On top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see it's got a full charging system. It runs an alternator. It has electric fans like a modern car. We run lambda sensors on the exhaust for tuning, because we have a gauge inside that reads all the different combustion, the mixtures that come out. So there's quite a lot of tuning to do.
Depending on what you want to achieve?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we took the engine out 2 years ago and rebuilt it ourselves, so it's completely to our spec.
Right.
So.
And does it do different distances, a Santa Pod, or is it?
We just run for the quarter mile.
Quarter mile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's street legal. How often do you take it out on the street? It must turn some heads.
It does turn some heads, but not too often. It's not exactly the most fuel efficient.
Okay. And you don't like to be in traffic lights, do you? Or
well, when he gets to traffic lights, it's hard not to do what you do.
Fair enough.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you take the temptation away.
But does it overheat easily?
No. It will sit in traffic. Fans come on, and it just sits there.
Really?
Yeah, no problem at all.
Can we have a look inside?
Yeah, sure. So, obviously, normal steering wheel. We have a special shifter, because if you see the numbers on the shifter, they are all backwards to our conventional car.
Okay.
So.
Oh yes, they are. Yes.
Yeah. So park would be forward.
Yeah.
So what we do, we run what they call a reverse pattern, and the reason why we do that is when we're actually racing. So we go into first, and all you do is you just hit it like that. So it will not shift into the next gear.
Right.
And then it can't shift any further than third gear.
No.
So there's no false neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're doing your quarter mile, how quickly are you shifting? Bang, bang, bang?
Yeah, quite quickly. We are in top gear probably at half track.
Right. And that's how many seconds?
About 6.
Good gracious me.
Yeah.
You're moving.
Yeah, we're starting to move. So obviously this has a full roll cage.
Yeah.
Cage goes from the front to the back of the car. It's all tech inspected, as obviously all the harnesses are as well.
Yeah.
Passenger ones are
So
out.
it is a two-seater. Do you take a passenger with you when you're doing the quarter miles?
I can do, but you are restricted to your speed when you take a passenger on. So you can do what they call run what you brung.
Run
What you brung, yeah. it's at the track.
Yeah.
So you can take a passenger up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But they restrict you to the speed, to 100 mile an hour.
That opens up opportunities, doesn't it? I mean, charity work and all sorts of
Yeah,
bits
it could
and
do.
pieces,
Yeah, it could do. But there's lots of people that do it.
Oh, really?
The
Okay.
track does have its own dragster, so you can actually go up in the dragster as well.
Really?
So yeah. I've never done that, but you never know.
Yeah.
No.
So what's in the back?
That's nitrous bottles. So
Okay.
it's nitrous oxide.
Right.
So that gets injected into the engine.
Okay. When you're doing your runs.
When you're doing the runs. But the class that we run in, we're not allowed to use this. This is for different purposes.
Oh, okay.
This is for like no prep and stuff like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if you need to be able to just cut everything off because something's not quite working correctly, what do you do?
You got a master kill switch up there.
It's up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blimey.
Yeah.
It's so well set up, isn't it?
Yeah. And then you got the buttons on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
You got the big red button on the left is for what they call a line lock for the burnout.
Right.
Okay, so it locks. You pump the brake pedal up hard, push that button in, and it releases the back brakes, but keeps the front brakes on.
Okay.
And then the other button is what they call a trans brake. So you roll into the beams when you go into pre-stage, stage. You hold the button down, and then you just put your foot on the throttle flat out.
Yeah.
And it goes onto a two-step. The transmission is locked because it uses reverse to lock against the forward gear, and then when you release that button, the car just launches.
Right.
Quite hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. and that's why the wheels come up.
Is that right? Okay, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
So the tyres and the wheels that you've got on here, they're specific to this particular car?
No, they're just particularly specific to the drag racing.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got Hoosiers on today.
Right.
They're just slicks. They're soft wall slicks. So you can see here they're starting to wrinkle.
Yeah.
So they will wrinkle when the car launches. When those slicks are hot and sticky, it will wrinkle. But that's what they're designed to do.
And how many runs can you do with your tyres, do you think?
A pair of tyres on the back will last me a season.
And that's how many runs?
Could be 15, 20 runs. Yeah.
They're doing a lot of work.
They are doing a lot of work, yeah. Then they do go away, you do notice a difference.
Oh, you do?
You do, eventually, by the end of the season, yeah. The diameter changes as well. Obviously a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
So which that can affect your top end speed. But yeah, so round the back we've got the wheelie bars.
Ah.
So that controls the wheel, the car launching, which are all adjustable. Again, another tuning aspect that can be taken into account.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, so it says on the back for sale.
Yes, yeah.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
And what sort is the guide price if I wanted to buy this from you?
If you wanted to buy it today, you could have it for 35,000.
Okay. And are you moving on to another one? Have you got something else in the back of the garage?
No, I haven't.
Do you have something in mind?
There's always something in mind, but not actually made my mind up of doing anything at the moment. Yeah. So. Yeah,
Mick, that is fantastic. That's so interesting.
All right.
I've never spoken to anybody with anything like this down here before. We've done a lot of talks, I can assure you. So it's really good to have you here today.
Okay,
So that's
well,
really good.
it's glad we're happy to be here today.
Yeah, well, thanks very much.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Wayne. This is my son Samuel's junior dragster. This is Samuel.
Hi, Samuel.
This is my junior dragster. I've had it for about 2 years now.
2 years?
Yeah.
Was it built for you?
No, it wasn't built for me. We bought it and had it redone with the paint and done some little upgrades to it, but not
So
much.
did you decide about the colour scheme and so on, or?
Yeah, we kind of gave it to somebody and said we kind of want these colours on it and this sort of design, and then they came out with that, and it's pretty good.
Great. Well, this is incredible. So you've had it 2 years.
Yeah.
And were you racing before this, or
No,
this
I was
is your
not.
start?
This is the start. So this is the first type of racing that I've ever done. So the engine is a 350cc single-cylinder engine. It runs on methanol, and it makes about 60 horsepower. So yeah, it is quite powerful.
Do you know how much the car weighs?
I don't, but I know it's not much.
No.
It's about 350
Yeah.
kilograms total.
Okay.
The chassis is chromoly, so it's very light.
Yeah.
Very light, and they build them to exactly the half size of a top fuel dragster. And they can run these cars from the age of 8 years old through to 18. 3 different classes. 8-year-olds to 11-year-olds, they run with stock engine, runs on petrol, and then they can go to 350cc ones at 11 years old, running on methanol, and then the 13 years old, which Samuel is now, we go into junior modified advanced, where they can go up to 550cc and still running methanol. But they only race over half distance of the track.
Right.
And
half distance being an eighth of a mile.
eighth of a mile, yeah. And his 0 to 60 time around on this is around 4 seconds. And at the 8th mile, he's getting to just below 80 miles an hour.
Good gracious
And
me.
he gets to that in about 8.5 seconds.
So so inside the car, Sam, what's it like? I mean, is this built for you?
No, it wasn't. We've just got
the seat at all?
Yeah, the seat can be essentially moved by putting in more layers of padding and stuff, but we just put that in so it fits a bit better.
Yeah. And this is the steering wheel.
Oh yeah, so that is, the steering wheel is a butterfly steering wheel similar to what they have on bigger dragsters, and it is a quick release steering wheel so you can just take it on and off.
Is that because you want to
Like
get
that.
in and out more easily?
Yep, you can use it to get in and out more easily.
Okay. Right, and so what do we have down here? Let me just see if I just get you back. Can you come down here? And so down here we've got the throttle and the brake.
Yep, throttle and brake. They're both adjustable, so they can be moved backwards and forwards, pretty much.
Depending on your length of your leg
Yeah.
lengths, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's an automatic box, obviously.
Yeah, it's just a centrifugal clutch, so it's always kind of in drive almost.
Yeah. Okay, and so just going up here, so there's a fairly simple steering mechanism on it?
Yeah,
So
it's very simple, just a rack and pinion steering mechanism. So yeah, it's quite simple.
Yeah. So how many times have you been on Santa Pod and done your runs?
Only, not many, but I think probably about 7 to 10 times, I think.
That's good though, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, very good.
That's so good.
Quite
And
often.
what's the feeling like when you're going up the 8th of the mile?
It feels a lot faster than it does look.
Because you're so low down, aren't
Yeah, when you see it, it doesn't look fast, but then when you're actually in it, it feels a lot faster than it looks.
you? You got the bug?
Yeah.
Yeah, junior dragster I think is a great way of getting the kids involved in drag racing more than just watching from the stands and helping out in the pits. They get involved and then they all seem to want to go on to the real cars when they get old enough, and which happens a lot. So at the age of 16, he should be able to get a competition licence and get into a big car. Yeah, so it doesn't have a gearbox as such, but it's got this clutch and the second stage clutch, so it's belt driven, and as he goes down the track it's like a centrifugal clutch. These two sheaths come together and these ones come apart, so it's like giving it an extra gear as it goes down the track, and that's how it drives the rear wheels. So no gears to change, nothing like that, just put your foot down and go. And yeah, that's about it really. So we have this little Micron computer on there. It's called a 660 because it's designed for dragsters. 660 feet is 1/8 of a mile, which is what they race over.
Okay.
We can read the exhaust gas temperature through this sensor. We can read the cylinder head temperature through this one, so we get to an optimum temperature before we run the car, so we know it's going to be consistent and reliable, and the engine's running safe as well. And that reads the RPM of the engine, which we can adjust as he goes up to the start line with this little cable connected to the carburettor, because what we like to do is get it to a certain rev as he goes up to the start line, so it's just pulling the car forward, and then he can get a consistent reaction time in time every run in the car. So we do keep a close eye on that and what's going on.
Roger, good morning and welcome to Brooklands.
Good morning,
And
thank
you're
you very
part
much.
of the Santa Pod team.
Yes, that's
today.
correct, yes, yeah.
And what car have you bought?
I bought my 2010 Chevrolet Camaro ZL 575, which means it's 575 horsepower. There are about 500 of these cars made by Chevrolet, and SLP Performance in New Jersey modified them. 250, as far as I know, 250 had the 6-speed manual gearbox rated at 575 horsepower, and 250 were the automatic version, about 520 horsepower with a 10-speed auto. So I've had the car about 3 years, and I'd never had a speeding ticket in like 58 years of driving. I've now had 3 speeding tickets.
Because it can't be helped.
Unfortunately, I live in an area where there's 20-mile-an-hour speed cameras. and
Okay.
it's very easy to exceed it.
Yeah, there are. It is.
So
Okay.
I've got to be really careful with it. I'm basically a Chevrolet person. I've got a 68 Camaro, which I drag race. I couldn't bring it today because I'm doing the brakes on it.
Okay.
Just fixing my brakes. But I hope to have it at the Dragstalgia towards the end of June at Santa Pod. Yeah.
So how long have you been dragging? Is that the right term?
Well, my 68 Camaro, I've had it for since, let me think now, about 28 years.
Okay.
And I first raced it at Santa Pod, at Runway to Browing, and also at what used to be called Shakespeare County Raceway, Shaky we call it.
Okay.
So I raced them both there, but it just on street tyres and on just with a normal gearbox, you know, just an automatic gearbox. But my 68 Camaro's got a new engine in it, 565 cubic inches, which I imported from the States.
Right.
So that's got 9-second potential at a quarter mile, but I've only managed to do like a high 11, low 12 in it. Although my friends, who are better drivers, more experienced drivers than me, have done 10s, low 10s in it. So it's a quick car, yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
So I hope to have it ready for Dragstalgia.
Excellent.
Can
we have a look inside your SS?
Please go ahead. So
I'll let you guide me in.
Yeah. So these are the wheels which come with it, which are special for the ZL 575. Yep. And it comes, the package which this car actually has got Brembo disc brakes all round. They were an optional extra for the car. Yep.
It's quite standard.
Yes, it is standard. It's got quite nice seats, Recaro style seats, leather upholstery, 6-speed manual gearbox, tilt-in wheel. Yeah, it's basically a standard car. And that plaque on the dash there, this is number 159. And I think there were about 250 of these ZL 575s.
Right.
And 250 of the, I think it's a ZL 550 or something like that, the automatic car. So, yeah.
So how easy is it to drive on the road?
Oh, it's very easy. It's very nice, very smooth. That's the problem. It's too smooth. You know, You've got the power there. It accelerates very quick. But on the motorway, doing this, you know, doing the legal 70 mile an hour limit.
Yeah.
She's running at about 1200 RPM in 6th gear. So
really?
It's fairly economical. We're doing 20 odd to the gallon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a beast, isn't she?
Yeah,
She's a very attractive beast.
Yeah, it's a nice car. Yeah. As I say, the reason I bought it in the first place, I was watching a YouTube video of some American guys driving a ZL1. Now the ZL1 is like 650, 700 horsepower version of this.
Okay.
They were driving a 6-speed ZL1, and I thought I liked the look of that, you know, because I've got a Camaro anyway.
Yeah.
So I went online and Googled it. ZL1s were a bit more expensive, but I thought by the time you buy it in US dollars, you've got to pay import duty and ship it over, all that sort of thing. So I bought this from a dealer up in Chesterley Street called Performance 28. So I bought it obviously in the UK, and I'm the third driver owner of the car. The first owner was from Florida. The second was a chap up in Newcastle who had 20 plus American cars, and I believe his father told him to get rid of some. So he sold it to Performance 28, the dealer. They never used it, they just put it on display, and I bought it from them, from their website,
So how many miles has it done?
It's only 11,000.
Okay.
When I bought it, I think it done just over 7,000. So.
It's nicely used.
Oh yeah. So it's a good car. I try not to take it out in the rain and the bad weather, but when I bought it, it had actually been snowing, and up in the northeast, and I drove it down from Chesterley Street back down to London. Okay. I keep it garaged all the time. I've got a car cover with it as well. Yeah.
It's very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing it, and thanks for bringing it to Brooklands for today. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for bringing your incredible looking Ford Capri.
Thank you.
Give me an introduction. What's it about?
I think it's my passion for classic cars, but also mixed with the love of American muscle, you know, and I thought the best way of combining two was to have a classic car with an American engine in it. So, so I think that it's sort of got the best of both worlds as far as I'm concerned.
So how long have you had her?
The car I've owned for about 38 years. A long time, yes.
And what did it start off as?
Well, it was a car actually originated from a guy that actually was going to convert it for a circuit racer.
Right.
And so it had no engine and interior. So at that point, it was partly modified to do a different job. But I was able to acquire the car off the guy because I'm a Capri fan. I've always had a love for Ford Capris.
Yeah.
And so what engine well, for me, naturally, it had to have a Chevy or a Ford engine put in it, particularly an American one, you know.
Right, so what's it got in it now?
Well, I run the small block Chevy in it for some 30 odd years, and then obviously I wanted to modernise it, and the talk was LS motors, and obviously a very popular conversion in America. So I did a little bit of research, found someone who had an LS motor, and I acquired, which is now an LSA, which is the supercharged version of the LS motors. Bit of a challenge getting it into the car.
But it does fit, doesn't it?
It does fit, yeah.
So what modifications did you have to make for it?
Quite a lot, really, although it actually fits quite well. I mean, obviously one of my challenges was to make sure if it fitted that I didn't really want to modify the body too much to accommodate, the transition. But obviously internally, I had to sort of empty the bonnet area to get the engine in. Then obviously fitted a 6-speed transmission gearbox in there, which also is quite large in the car, so it meant modifying the floor pan of the car to accommodate it. But then obviously when you put this sort of power into a very small car, you've got to uprate the suspension, the steering, the brakes, and obviously accommodate different wiring. So yes, there wasn't really much left of the original car except the outer body, So, but it's good fun to drive.
Right, so it's street legal.
Yes.
And it also performs at Santa Pod.
Yes, it's a car that you can take to Santa Pod and do run what you brungs, and comfortably drive the car home again. And probably, I haven't yet tried it at Santa Pod. It's due to go. But obviously, I'm a drag racer with other drag racing vehicles.
Okay.
So this one is what I call my daily driver, shall I say it?
Yeah.
But it's a car that I keep at home and then go out at weekends or to events like this where I can have a bit of fun with the car on the road, rather than my drag cars, which are specifically built for the job,
So what would you expect this car to be able to do over the quarter mile?
My anticipation, it would be sort of like a 150 9-second run, would be quite nice. But, again, it's about, maybe setting it up. You could increase the horsepower with some modifications, but I want it to be streetable, and I want it to be usable. And so this one really is a mild version of what you could do to it.
Okay, right, so I'm just noticing little details like this 6200 SC down here.
Yes, of course.
Which is perfect, isn't it? Because it would have said 3000 XLR or something.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And this has really been part of my thing with the Capris, is try and accommodate as many of the details to keep it looking fairly original. Bumpers, lights, obviously converting the badges with the correct CC. And that's how I've sort of kind of approached the project, really.
So it's a 1970 car?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Right.
It was probably formerly a 3-litre GXL from memory.
GXL, right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so it's had some certain, upgrades.
Can we have a look inside the car? You want to go on that side?
Yeah.
And so where have you come from today?
I've actually driven up from a small place called Herriard, which is in Hampshire near Basingstoke.
Okay.
And it's a very nice drive. I've only put around about 500 or 600 miles on the car since we've kind of finished it.
Yeah.
So it's still learning a little bit about how it drives and how it handles.
Yep.
And yeah, I would say it's still a very old car and it still doesn't handle as well as it should do, but it's great fun to drive.
Yeah, but there's a certain amount of fun in the tuning point of it, isn't
Yeah,
it? The learning of it?
Yeah, I think what happens is, you've got to expect that it is still an old car and it won't have the luxury of traction control and all the buttons you can press in a modern car.
Yeah.
So, it still features its old style of interior, but I think what it does give you is a sense of fun because it's still an old car, and you haven't got all the luxury bits that you would normally get in a modern car.
But you must get closer to it because of that. It's like a hand in glove thing.
I think what happens is that it always pleasantly surprises people when they sort of draw alongside you and they're giving you a bit of a thumbs up, and you just drop it down a gear and then you kind of, you disappear.
Wow. Well, this is so good to see, and thank you very much for sharing it with us today. It's remarkable, actually.
Thank you.
Great piece of work, and long may you enjoy her.
Yes. I've got to thank my wife for this, really, because obviously she's very understanding when it comes to cars and this sort of thing that you do with cars, because obviously, it's your family's behind you as well on all of this as well.
Does she enjoy coming out?
Yes, we do many race meetings, shows. We started to do more and more shows with not only this car but the other cars we've got in our stable. But this one is just just a fun car to drive out on days like today.
Very, very good.
Thank
Does
you.
it have a name?
No, it's just
it is
Bob's.
her.
It's just Bob's Capri.
Right. Great, thanks, Bob.
Thank you.